What we're going to do next on our keychain is create a half circle with a hole in it and attach it to the left side of our keychain. This is the part of the keychain that you would actually use to attach to a key ring. Now, the first thing we need to do is create a half circle. I have a full circle here colored in red, but what I want to do is cut this object in half. And unfortunately, there's no way for us to draw a line directly through the circle and then remove half of it. In Tinkercad, we're going to have to use what's called a hole. Now on the right side of the shape generator, you might have noticed that there's a hashed gray box as well as a red box. The red box is an actual object. If we clicked and dragged that onto our work plane, it would represent an actual cube. However, if we click and drag this hashed box onto our work plane, you can see that it's transparent. And the transparent box means that it's a hole. And this kind of hole is meant to remove a cube-shaped object from another object. So using the commands that you learned in the previous videos, we're going to resize this up to 30 by 30. And then we'll use the vertical resize box to make sure it's the same height as our red circle at 2 millimeters. Then what we're going to do is click on one of the resize boxes, and then instead of 30, we can click here and then type in the number we want. In this case, we want 15. We now have a circle that is 30 millimeters in diameter, as well as a box or a rectangular prism that is 15 millimeters in diameter. Using the Align tool that you learned from the previous video, we're going to shift click on the red cylinder, and then we're going to align them using the Align tool. Clicking on the red cylinder will allow you to anchor that object in place. Then instead of anchoring this object to the center, what we're going to do is align them to the right side so that their right faces share the same coordinates. Clicking that, you'll see that the hole has now overlapped with our circle. And here we're going to be introducing a new tool to you called the Group tool. Now, this rectangular prism here still exists as a hole, and it hasn't actually cut anything out of our solid object yet. In order to actually have your hole cut something away, you need to group it with the object that is being cut. So here, you want to click on your hole, and then shift-click on the actual object that you want to cut the hole from, and click on this button here, or use the hotkey Control-G. Grouping a hole with a solid removes the object that was covered by the hole and leaves you with a singular object remaining. Now, most people believe that you can only use these two kinds of holes here. However, any object of any shape can become a hole, and that's quite easy to do in Tinkercad. Using this purple cylinder as an example, what we're going to do is we're going to click on it, and although it's currently a solid object, we can turn it into a hole by clicking this hole button on the square menu that appears on the selected object. We now have a cylindrical hole and our half circle. What we're going to do here is align them using the tool that you've already learned. Align it both anchored to this half circle to the center of the object, using both the left center circle and the bottom center circle. We now have these two objects placed together. Instead of shift clicking, one of your options is to just click and drag, creating this red box, which is called the Marquee tool. Select both objects, and again either hit Control-G or use the Group button. Now cut a hole out of our half circle, and we're going to position it next to our keychain. Doing that, we can just click and drag until it's in its proper place. And we're done. The last thing we would do here is select both the keychain and our new keyring hole and group the objects together. And there we have the first step in creating our APL keychain.